All right. So again, I'm gonna put a couple pictures on the board, and I want you to name the object that I'm putting on the board. All right. So the first one on your, just put it in your notes. You don't need to have it on a separate sheet of paper. First object. Here you go. I want to see if you can name that. Number 2. Second object. Third object. Bleh. Okay. And the fourth picture that I'm going to put on the board, which we're going to have a fifth one, but this is the fourth one that I'm going to have for right now. Where do you see?
Big question, how's the word raise actually spelled? Because I know
R-A-Y. It's just like.
All right, so in your notes, I want you to draw these pictures rough. You know, rough scale picture of this drawing, and then I want you to name it. Like name
I
that.
honestly don't remember all of them. So I actually don't remember number 2.
So take the best step that you can. If you need to, make up a word, but I want to know what you can remember if you can remember it. So
Probably naming.
just name it. You don't need to measure it, because obviously you won't be able to draw it to scale. So just want you to name it. It's been a while. I mean, since Tuesday, Wednesday this week, I think we did it. I want to kind of see where you're sitting, if you can remember some of the geometries that we introduced. We're off to start here. Nice.
Which is the light? Can I just wait a second since I technically gotta do this here, right?
See if you can come up with a stand.
What is that thing in that tree over there?
It's my sensor for temperature. I used to keep track of temperatures on time. Do the project.
Oh.
That was a long time ago for temperature. That was the first year I was here. Battery died since. I gotta go replace it.
I always want, I look out this window sometimes and I look out and I see that, I'm like, what is?
Goes to this thing. Keep track of the temperature outside. We were plotting data for multiple days in a row, trying to see what the temperature was doing. So,
I don't know number 4.
2?
Equilateral.
that's yours.
Isn't there something called right?
Nope.
Isn't there something with the word right in it?
Nope. Those wires come off right there.
Obtuse.
Don't mind, guys.
No.
No.
Is that right anyway?
No.
Oh,
Not even close.
I would have been amazed if I was right.
Okay, think we got it? Or you want a little more time?
Just go ahead. 'Cause I still
Okay,
don't remember.
I'm gonna go around the room. Let's start. We'll start
With number 2.
with number 1.
Ah!
Okay, all right. Who'd like to start number 1? Raise your hand. Okay, Sam, fire away. What do you got?
Line.
It is a line. Very nice. Now, that is a line. Now, here's my question. You are correct. That is good. How do you write the notation for a line? You named it correctly. You did that right. That is a line. But how do you name it for notation? Instead of drawing the picture, what's the other way that you could write the answer other than saying line?
Did you take the 2 letters
2 letters, and what do you do with them?
and then put the line above them?
Yeah, perfect. That's pretty good. That is the other way you could write it. Very nicely done. This is what I was looking for. I was looking for the word line. This is what they call the notation for a line. It's how you write the answer down if you're looking for a specific one. Now, here's my secondary question to you. Can you measure that line? Can you measure it with like a ruler?
Which line?
Number one.
Actually,
Could you measure it with a ruler?
No,
Why not?
because it goes on infinitely.
Exactly. Has the arrows. Very nicely done. All right, so let's move on to number 2. That was very nice. Okay, number 2. Somebody else now. Okay, Eric, what do you got?
Point, Sammy boy.
Points. It's the word points. All right. Now, when you name it.
No, he was stuck on number 2.
Okay, yeah. So this is what I was looking for. I was looking for the word point. I believe, Miss Edwards, you put the little dash in there. Let's see if you can figure it out. All right, so the word point. Now, if you're going to use notation to answer a question with that, how would you name it? Because like before you said like the 2 letters and you put little arrows above it. But how do you do a point? What's the notation for it?
I'm not answering this one.
Is it P with the dot above it?
No.
No,
Close.
I know it.
What is it?
Oh, are you still on point?
Point.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
This is the more obscure one.
I want number 4 if it was just me now.
Here's how you do it. You write the word point, and then you put the letter after it. It's kind of a trick question. That's all you have to do. Point P. This, again, is the notation for how you answer a question. If they ask for like, hey, what point is in the middle of the board? Point P.
Just kind of
Okay.
the next one.
All right. Connor, you want the next one? Number
It's Ray.
It's array. Very nicely done. All right. So it's array. That's what I was looking for. That is the name of that object. Pretty good. Now, how do we, other than naming it array, what's the notation for how you answer a question with array? What's the notation for it? Because like
It
before,
goes infinitely in one direction.
goes infinitely in one direction, so it's not measurable,
Oh
right?
god, you just made me
Don't
remind
you just
myself
take
about
the 2
thing
letters
I
and put
did
the
before.
arrow above it itself?
Yeah. So just the 2 letters, arrow above it, same thing as before. Now, which way does the arrow have to face? What letter is
One
it?
facing
One
out.
way.
I told number
It's
4.
facing the letter D, so it has to be above the letter
This way
D.
again now.
It doesn't have to face the same direction. So this gets really weird. You could write it like
This is
this.
gonna work today.
You can write it like that,
Yes, it is.
DC. And you can put the arrow going the other way, as long as the arrow is going through D. Okay? All right, last one.
Angle,
It is an angle. Okay?
Oh.
Angle F, I like that. You did the notation for it. It is an angle. Okay, it's angle F, if you will. You can write it like this, angle F. You can write a little symbol with an F. Those are all good. What else?
man, you can have
Angle
those.
EFG.
Angle EFG, very nicely done. Angle
That's what I
EFG.
said, you can have the rest of it.
Okay. Now, what type of angle is it? So, what type of angle do we have?
Acute.
It's acute. Why is it acute? It is an acute angle. Why is it acute? What was my little...
It's not past the straight line.
It's not past straight up and down. It's not past 90. How I remember the word acute, I think of the word acute is like puppies. Puppies are small. Small angles acute. Okay? All right. Are we good so far?
Yep.
Very nicely done. Okay.
I don't feel like
Do we feel comfortable with angles and stuff? Okay, I said there was a final 5th one. Here we go. Final 5th one.
Ooh.
This is pretty good. I'm pretty impressed by that. Okay. Final 5th one. I want to see if you guys can remember what we talked about on this one. I get rid of all the ones on the board. Pretty impressed. You guys have definitely remembered a lot more than you think you did. Alright. Last one. Before we get to the new stuff today.
Yeah, so.
5th one. Here we go.
What?
just make a triangle with that, I'm good. I know what I can remember.
Okay, I would like you to try to see if you can name that object. Okay, name this figure. You don't have to give me a notation, I just want the name of it. Okay, Connor, if we can put that away, that'd be great. Alright, so I want you to name this object. This is the last object today, and then we'll get to our new notes today.
It's angle F.
Nope.
I don't know this one. could always look it up.
You could. If you do it to look up.
Should look up types of angles. God dang it.
I've seen anything like that before. I don't remember seeing it on the board. Well,
Shut down my computer
in
again.
order of having a sign on the. Is there a sign above it? Thank you for something like.
No, in the center of the word, like you have a line, ray, point, we're looking for a word.
This is, I'm not looking for an angle on this one.
I know, that's why I was saying, I know.
I'm not looking for an angle. I'm looking for what this object would represent.
Trapezoid.
Well, you're actually really close. If I was actually looking at that object, you'd probably be right. But the problem is, this is just merely
triangle.
borders. It's merely borders, and these can move further. Like, it's not a full
It's like
trapezoid
a-
where this is
It's like a
rigid.
square with a triangle on the inside.
It's five
Okay.
letters.
I'm not looking for the shape of the outside wall. I'm looking for what it represents. Because we haven't went through the names of the shapes yet. We haven't talked about triangles and quads and stuff. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll give you how many letters it has.
Okay, at least that's something.
5 letters.
Now it starts with a P though now.
Okay. Oh. It's P up front.
Oh, it's not parallel
Can't be.
because
Parallel has too many
it
letters.
has too many letters. And then it has less.
Points.
No, we
That's a
don't-
part of it, but that's not what I'm looking
Point.
for. There's more than one, so it can be points.
Point blank E.
You know it.
No.
You want the second letter?
Yeah. Fair enough.
L.
Plane.
Plane.
Ah, why do you remember things so easily?
Plane. All right.
As soon as they like give me a hint at
Yeah.
least, and I'm like, oh.
All right. Yeah. Planes. Now the hard part about this one, and this is, in fact, Connor, you actually said it right. Like, if this was a rigid object, you'd have been right. It was a trapezoid, right? But the problem
with
was,
a triangle on the inside.
yeah, what we're talking about here is I don't want you to look at the edges, like the walls. You have to imagine that this thing continues in all directions. It's supposed to be representing like a piece of paper, like a flat surface. It's very hard to draw that in like in two-dimensional, but this is a plane. It's a flat surface. You can have multiple dots on it, and it doesn't even matter what letters we have. Okay, planes are flat surfaces.
Flat surfaces.
Okay? All right, now, when you name it notation-wise, notation, anyone remember how you answered question with planes? I think, Sam, that was the question you were asking. You're asking like symbols and whatnot to put above it and stuff, but what do we need for a plane?
Points.
Is it with
That's
the
part of
letters?
it. You need the letters, which are the points, and you need something else that's in front of it.
Front.
You need the letters, but what do you have to put in front of the letters?
Just like.
What do you have to put in front of the letters?
Let's say line, but no.
What object are we talking about here?
Plane.
That's all you have to put in front. You write the word plane, and then you put the 3 letters in the back. So it's kind of a trick question. Kind of a trick question. All right, that was our last one today. Now, what I would like to do today is talk about our angles. We did that yesterday, and we were doing. You guys were actually doing a pretty good job of measuring. I would like you to take out your protractors, please. We use those as a perfect. Connor, that was the thing. So hold that up to the 2 gentlemen and see. All right, perfect. Those 2. That's what we need today. We're gonna look at how to measure angles today. All right. I'm going to be measuring angles. Okay, what we're going to do today is me and Miss Edwards are going to be up at the marker board. We're going to draw some angles on the board, and we're going to have you guys come up and tell me what type and to measure them. Does that make sense? Each one of you will get 2 pictures each. Does that make sense? Okay, I'll turn off the camera so you're not on camera at that point. So That way you don't have to worry about being on camera. But we're gonna draw 2 of them. You're gonna tell me the name of the angle, and you're gonna measure it with your protractor. Got it? All right, here we go. All right, Miss Edwards, if you like, you can draw any. All right, you should receive an email from me here in a minute. It will have a picture of an angle. There's actually multiple angles. There's actually 4 angles on the picture. What I'd like you to do, very quietly, I would like you to figure out the measurements of each of those angles on that picture using your protractor.
There we go.
So, you have to find the measurements of each angle.
So
So you're going to write them on your paper. So what I'd like you to do, so on that little piece of paper that I provided you, it's the little note card that you guys are looking at. Okay? I would like you to write angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, and angle 4 on there with your name.
I'm good.
Put your name on it.
I'm fine.
I would like you to find the measure of each of those angles. So you're going to measure angle number 1, you're going to find the measure of angle 2, find the measure of angle 3, write the numbers down.
That's not fair.
And once you have them, then I want you to classify them.
That's double whammy all over again.
They're all right.
So
Oh, thanks for the notice.
you have to measure each angle.
Liar.
Find the measure of each angle, please, and write them down and classify them. So the thing I'm looking for a number, and I'm looking for is an acute, right, obtuse, straight, reflex. I'm looking for one of those words. In fact, I'll put those words on the board, so in case you want to know which one's which, I'll put them on the board just so you have all those words again. But you're finding the measurements of each of those angles, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Here's your angles. It's acute, right, obtuse, straight, and reflex. These are your only options for when you classify it. This is your ticket out the door today. So you have about 10 minutes to get these 4 done. You'll be fine.
Being timed.
Nah, you'll be fine. It's only 4. You guys seem pretty good. You guys had a pretty good handle on measurements. So.
Funny.
Okay, don't see him thing.
Shut up.
Yeah, the last couple days we've been doing ear pods in here, so they've been getting some hands-on like practice, like drawing with their Chromebook. They like it, so it's pretty good.
Oh, whoops, I'm way off. I'm way off on one.
I don't think straight is right. For what I'm looking.
I'd probably agree with that. I believe straight is
You
not.
just have to name them?
No, you just have to measure them and then classify them. So like acute, right, obtuse. Just give me the number and then give me that word.
Oh.
You don't have to name them, because there's no letters, there's no points on them, so you don't have to do that.
They're all obtuse and acute.
So you just have to figure out the measurements. So put your protractor on the screen and you measure them out. Then tell me the measure of each one. So problem number 1 should be the angle for 1, and put the classification after it.
Well, you see,
I was just gonna say that. Well, you see now. For number 1,
That's
that. Don't be able to go back and tell that I'm pushing that. Third and number 1. Back in to
Sure.
measurements.
you said it first.
It's going to extend that red line, right? So it line goes to that red line.
Oh no, I have the number now, I'm trying to classify it.
So,
I don't know what it is though for,
is it ever easy?
no, I have the number, like classifying it,
Okay.
obtuse or
Okay, so
acute.
let's take this out. So look at,
Oh, so it's
it's
like
angle 1.
two.
Use it, look at it, and what do you think it looks like to your eye?
You said your angle was that?
Acute or
yeah.
Number 1?
straight, reflex, what kind of
Number
angle?
1 kind of like, can you show me what the outside
And
was?
what's the acute angle? Take them here, number 1,
This is a big angle, so that's right. You gotta use big angles.
Wait, acute.
Oh,
Yeah. So, just making sure. If it's big, use big numbers, if it's small, use small.
I think I did it.
I like it. Nicely done, got them all. Take that from you. Thank you answer. Very nice.
First try. First try.
Part of it is just figuring out which numbers.
Okay, first of all, number 2,
Two? So you got it lined up?
I already had this, that's, just be the same number as the first one.
Okay. I mean, first one should be a big number, second one should be smaller.
Yeah, that's a big number.
58. I'm sorry, unders for the first one. Because like the first one's going from here up, you should be using the big numbers.
By number, I'd say.
And the second one is small, I agree with you. Oh, wow. Okay. Perfect, and then number 2 should be small. Alright, good. Go to number 3 and 4, you guys. You know, good.
Oh, crap. Ah, no, it's not this again. Wait, how, oh, frick do you do number?
You need, you can turn your Chromebook over. You can measure it like that.
Who says I don't know how to read this? I don't know.
There you get yours.
You can turn your display around.
You done?
I could.
Are you still measuring?
You can go measure 4.
Okay, that's funny.